The Non-Experts podcast was made possible by KCLC and Lindenwood University.
However, the opinions expressed on this show do not reflect those of the university.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and a 30-day free trial at audibletrial.com/nonexpertspodcast.
Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your smartphone, tablet, or Kindle. That's www.audibletrial.com/nonexpertspodcast.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom. A king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun.
Sandy! Danny? What are you doing here?
If you know how I feel, why would you say that? Like, you put me in such an uncomfortable situation. Like, you know I'm not happy. You know I'm trying.
I'm Romero.
And I'm Chris.
And we're the non-experts.
We're not therapists.
Or lawyers.
Or firefighters.
We don't have any licenses or degrees.
So join us as we talk about news and pop culture and say whatever we want.
Because we're the non-experts. All right, so first of all, Chris, how are you feeling today?
Oh, fine.
Mm-hmm. He's lying, ladies and gentlemen. He's lying, and we're going to get to the bottom of it by the end of this 30 minutes. Oh, I am doing well as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday, I told you that the Lion King trailer, the newer one, had come out, which I'm sure you'd probably already seen it by then.
Yeah.
But it felt good to make sure I let you know. So first and foremost, what are your thoughts on it?
Okay, I'm a little bit of a... I'm indifferent, okay?
You might want to grab a seat, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm indifferent. So what I do like about it is how visually nice it looks. I think it looks really cool with the landscapes and the locations, that kind of stuff. And the CG animals, honestly, they look really, really great. You know, even in close-up, they show a close-up of Rafiki's face, and it looks really, really nice. The animals look realistic, that kind of thing. My only issue is I hate that people keep saying that this is a live action movie when it's not. It's fully animated. I'm assuming.
Wait, are you serious?
I'm assuming. I don't know if they actually went and shot actual footage of
I thought
a Sahara.
They just got all the animals together and said, "Hey, just stand still for 30 minutes." You know, like how you get dogs in movies and they're actors, Air Bud. I thought this was. Are you telling me this is
yes, it is.
Well, shoot. 0 out of 10 hype factor now.
Yeah.
I no longer care. I thought it was all real.
So dumb. But you know what I mean? Because people being, it's not really live action. It's more realistic than a cartoon, a 2D animation. This is a 3D animated version of it with realistic looking characters. The only other thing is I kind of noticed, lions are kind of all the same color, so it's really hard to differentiate them. So I feel like unless you hear the voice coming out of their mouth, you might be confused as to who's who. Especially just looking at it, you're like, you can't tell which one's Simba, which one's Nala, like when they're kids running around, that kind of stuff. So, other than that, though, people are going to go see it.
Are you going to go see it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm being honest, I'm definitely going to spend
Lion
my
King was
money.
one of my favorite ones.
I love Lion King.
And Hamlet's one of my favorite Shakespeare stories. So
Hamlet's good. I love Lion King. And I saw it when it was on stage, with down at the Fox years ago.
Yeah.
Oh man, it was so great. So of course I'll go see it. My thoughts are kind of in line with yours. Like you said, it's kind of hard, I guess, to differentiate lions and give them specific traits. And you can't make Scar chocolate brown like he was in the animated version to really distinguish him. But my thing with Scar, right? Ladies and gentlemen, if you didn't know this, if you look up older lions, their manes start to go black. They could have easily made his mane black or just fully black. And the easy cop-out is he's just an older lion, which is totally fine because we all assume anyway that he's the older out of him and Mufasa.
Right.
So I don't like that he just kind of looks like... It's almost older, but he looks like... I don't know, dingy. You know what I'm trying to say?
He looks ratty.
He looks all ratty and raggedy. And that's Scar didn't look like that. He just looked like a little oh, that's a shady dude.
Right. He's got the longer nails, the black mane, and the scar on his eye.
Which, I don't know. So I kind of wish they would have found a way to make him slightly more in line with the 2D counterpart. like you said, we both realize you can't do it fully, but it would have been nice.
Yeah.
It is very weird to me seeing Timon and Pumbaa, especially like right there at the end where they're singing, and like seeing Timon be like a legitimate meerkat is so weird.
Yeah.
So it's very strange seeing them like as real animals.
Have like more kind of a pointy nose, but in the cartoon it's kind of more like round.
It's got like a little black clown nose.
Right.
Something.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. But I think it'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I think just based off of nostalgia, we'll all really like the movie. And it'll be interesting to see it just all come together with the great voice actors that they have. And like you said, it just looks beautiful aesthetically. Like it looks really good.
I hope the songs are good too. Like I hope they all can sing well.
Yeah. I think isn't Beyonce in this?
Yeah, she's the adult now.
She's got to She's got to help out somewhere.
She's gonna, she's
of course. In that check, they were like, "Please sing something."
Exactly.
Like, we need more than just your
right. Well, I guess
voice.
Donald Glover too.
Yeah. So they've got some musical people in there, so that'll be good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm excited. I hope it turns out well.
Me too.
Fingers crossed.
Like I don't want this to be all for
money grabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which like I said, it doesn't really seem like it. Only because the trailer looks so good and they've put so much work into that, like I do feel like it's more than a money grab, but at the same time, it's still just kind of that idea we've talked about where it's like, well, let's just take old things and just make them new. You know what I mean?
Here's this movie we made 20 years ago.
Exactly.
Let's rehash it and make it real modern.
Exactly.
That's basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, cash grabs all the same, but with these type of cash grabs, you don't mind so much because it's stuff you asked for. Like Gumbo, nobody asked for that. No, I'm sorry, Dumbo.
Dumbo, yeah.
Gumbo, I'm hungry. Dumbo, nobody asked for. That's just a cash grab. But at least Lion King, like people like it.
Right.
So, check it out, guys. If you haven't seen the trailer, make sure you look it up. It's pretty good.
I got some news for you.
What you got?
I've got chills. They're multiplying.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm losing control.
Oh my goodness! It's electrifying.
Yeah, see if you hadn't guessed. The movie Grease. A lot of people like it. Kind of, it's a classic.
Yeah.
They made a Grease 2 like in the 80s that was awful and nobody liked it.
Which is probably why it's not very memorable for me.
Right. But apparently people did not learn their lesson and they are making a Grease prequel.
Nice.
Yes. It is titled Summer Lovin'.
That's exactly what I asked for. Like most Hollywood things.
Right. And it obviously will take place before Grease, and it'll show how Danny and Sandy met and fell in love while she was swimming and nearly drowned. Yeah. This is kind of another incident. You know what? We should make we should figure out how to make a new segment every week just called "Who Asked for This?"
Yeah.
And because that's how I'm feeling about this. Like, who asked for a Grease prequel?
I'd say 4 out of the last 5 of our podcasts, we've come across something that we were like, why? Who requested that this be done? No one. No one is the answer. Yeah. I don't care how big of a Grease fan you are. I really don't believe you if you say, oh man, what if they made a prequel? This would be great. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants this. Yeah. People will watch it though.
Yeah. And I'm kind of sick and tired of, and we've talked about this before too, of why can't we just make something original?
Yeah.
Why do we have to go back to like these movies and stuff and be like, oh, well, let's just expand on this for no reason at all. You can't let sleeping dogs lie, and it is worthless. Like,
I genuinely I get it when you do, so say like Creed, right? Mm-hmm. You tie it into a previous really successful story, but it's an original concept that branches off from that. I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah.
But when it's, well, let's do Rocky when he was a teenager training to be a grown-up. Mm-hmm. Like stuff like that. Like, who asked for that? Mm-hmm. Like the random prequels, nobody cares. Or the spinoffs of one character that
nobody cares about.
Nobody was even really invested in that character.
Yeah.
I don't see the purpose for those. And they do it with TV and movies. Just come up with new content. It's not that hard. It can't be.
Right. I feel like with TV, sometimes it can be really, really good.
Yeah.
Like All in the Family, when they did the spinoff with Maude, like that was a show on its own that was just that one random character from All in the Family, but it was also successful.
Right.
But, you know, like, especially nowadays, too, where it's like, you know, the Roseanne reboot, the Will and Grace reboot, they want to do
Which
an
isn't
off...
Roseanne anymore.
Right. Right. It doesn't even include her. You know, and they want to do, like, a reboot of The Office. But, like, that's not even that old, you know?
And The Office, like, I was reading something about it once, not too long ago, and they were saying one of the problems they, I guess, were thinking they would have is that some of the humor in The Office at the time was more acceptable. Like now, with the way everybody cries about everything and everybody's all for social justice. Oh, there's a gay joke. We must riot. Oh, there's a sexist joke, you know?
Yeah.
Which is a lot of the content on The Office.
Right.
So I hope they just leave that untouched. I'm pretty sure we talked about before, my favorite show like ever was Scrubs. And then it was supposed to be the series finale, and they decided to do an 8th season that like kind of branched off from that with new characters, and it just didn't really take off. I still found it, you know, fairly funny, but it just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
So I feel like you should just leave things alone. Like when they're good and they ended well, just leave them alone. Don't go back and do prequels. Don't try to make a new spinoff. Just come up with something original.
Please.
And I think that's why Hollywood loves Jordan Peele so much right now. Is because these are totally original, like thriller, horror, whatever movies. They're not the 18th Michael Myers movie or another Freddy or Jason. You know, it's something new and original.
Yeah.
So if you are listening to this as an aspiring creator, come up with something original.
Please.
So we can break the chain of reboots and just please, no one asks for any of this. For you, the listeners of the Non-Experts podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service.
To download it, go to audibletrial.com/non-expertspodcast. That's audibletrial.com/non-expertspodcast for your free audiobook. So we're going to talk about your favorite family.
Oh, yes.
Your favorite reality TV family, the Kardashians.
Said no one ever.
Right. This time it's about Kim.
Okay.
And it's nothing bad, surprisingly. She has revealed that currently she's studying to be a criminal justice lawyer.
Nice.
Yes. So we're kind of assuming, you know, she's kind of following in the footsteps of her late dad, Robert Kardashian, who we all know defended O.J. Simpson.
Right. The man
during that whole the whole big fiasco, White Bronco. Anyway.
Aren't those coming back soon, by the way? I think the Bronco's coming back.
Are they?
I think the Bronco's coming back.
How many people do you think are going to buy
a
White Bronco?
I guarantee you somebody's going to buy it. Like,
and start taking it down the highway.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
While
so
you talk about that, I'm going to find out when the Bronco comes out.
She's going to be following in the footsteps of her dad. She says she will be taking the bar exam by 2022.
Nice.
And so a lot of people are saying, "Oh, well, wait a second. How can you become a lawyer, you know, without graduating college?" In California, you can become a lawyer without graduating college if you apprentice with a practicing lawyer or a judge.
That I didn't know.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting.
Yeah.
Because that was kind of my first thought, you know, because it's like, well,
how?
What? Yeah, like, wouldn't she have to go back to... Did she even go to college to begin with? Probably not.
I'm going to go ahead and assume that her fortune prevented her from feeling the necessity.
Yeah, well. So she would have to go to college, get a degree, and then go to law school, and then take the bar, and then become a lawyer. So... I mean, I guess that's a cool way for her to do it. I don't know if she's really lawyer material.
What?
Lawyer material. Excuse me. Just based, just based on what I've seen of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Of, you know.
What do you think she's gonna break down and cry?
Just be like, I really just don't understand why you can't. Why
would you say something like that if you know how that makes me feel?
Right. My client is just so innocent. You have no idea.
I don't know. That's that will definitely be interesting to see. I'm kind of surprised. But I know she was involved like not too long ago trying to help some people like adjust some justice issues.
Yeah.
So that is kind of interesting. Oh, by the way, Ford Bronco is part of the 2020 lineup.
Oh.
So it will be here soon.
Yes.
Doesn't look half bad if these are real pictures. It's interesting. I'll be buying a Ford Bronco. Anyway, yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that, but I think that is that's pretty impressive if you're willing to do that. You know, with all the things she has going on, with all the revenues coming in her way, like there's no reason for her to do this. But just the fact that she's willing to take the time to do it, I actually will commend her. Yeah. Instead of making fun of her like, you know, typically people do. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's also must be nice to be able to do it that way instead of having to struggle through school.
Yeah. But I mean, I feel like though, like it doesn't really say how long it takes to apprentice. You know what I mean? Like, so, but it does say she's going to take the bar exam by 2022. So, I mean, that's about 3 years. Yeah. And I mean, hey.
Which who's to say like she just started this? She could have been, you know, doing it under the radar for a minute now or getting it together. So kudos to her. Yeah. I'd do it if I could. I mean,
I'm just curious as to what cases she'll want to represent.
Yeah. Nothing that involves hurt feelings.
Right, no.
Ugly crying in court is never a good thing, especially when you're supposed to be defending someone.
Right.
All right, so we're just going to jump right into it.
Yes.
You are familiar with the company Gillette.
Oh, yes.
Correct? Yeah. If that name doesn't ring a bell to you, you might have a problem and you're probably an idiot. But I'll help you out. Gillette is a shaving company. So they recently had an ad campaign that involved a rather large woman. And I'm not saying that to be offensive. She's genuinely large woman. She's obese.
Yeah.
And just like people typically do, they can't just say, oh, this is a commercial, whatever. They have to be outraged.
Yeah.
This is not okay. She is fat. She is obese. This is unhealthy. They have to take it to the extreme, you know? So, of course, Twitter, as they always want to be, is fake mad about this obese woman being part of the ad campaign, which to me, I haven't seen why she's even in it to understand the correlation.
Right.
What are you trying to say that fat people can shave too? I don't really understand why they felt the need to involve it.
Right.
But I also don't understand why you feel the need to be so upset about someone being fat.
Right.
Nobody's saying, hey, let's all be obese. This is totally healthy lifestyle. Let's do it. We all realize the health effects of being overweight and what that can do to your body and your lifespan. There's no reason to like call it out or say, well, that's why I don't buy Gillette products. Yeah.
Right.
Like, who cares? That has nothing to do with anything. Will you shut up, please? Just shut your mouth.
I definitely see both sides of this because from the Gillette standpoint, none of the ads really are calling attention to the fact that it's a large person. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, you know, they're saying, you know, fat is beautiful or, you know, that kind of thing. Like the caption for the one, it was a tweet. It just says, go out there and slay the day. And it shows the woman on the beach in her swimsuit, you know, having a good time.
Right.
You know, it's not like they're saying, you know, whatever.
But I am outraged because fat people are not allowed to have a good time. It's unhealthy. Their lives are going to be shortened because they're fat and they can't enjoy a day at the beach.
Well, that's the other thing, though, is like, everybody has to shave. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like fat people, skinny people, tall people, short people, we all shave. Not only that, but the picture shows her like doing something active and being outdoors. She's not sitting on the couch like eating Cheetos. You know what I mean? Like, so from the Gillette standpoint, I do understand. And I don't want to say that they just, you know, they were like, oh, well, we'll just pick, you know, a random person to put in their ad. They definitely knew, okay, yeah, we need to get a larger model.
Representation matters. Yeah.
Exactly. So it wasn't just a blind model audition and they were like, yes, you. No, they were definitely looking for a particular type.
Yeah.
But kind of like what you agree, people are just, they're going. I want to read one of the. I might read two, but there's one of the tweets that I was just.
There's a trigger warning.
I was yes, please.
These are a little extreme sometimes.
Yeah, this one was. I was surprised. This person says, "This woman will die of heart disease before @POTUS completes his second term. I hope she's just as happy and carefree for her last 6 years of life. Everybody should live themselves." I'm assuming it's supposed to say love. Everybody should love themselves, but let's not call it healthy. That one's a little extreme.
Yeah. The next 6 years of her life.
Mm-hmm. There was another one, I guess, let's see. It says, there's no reason to be rude or unkind to someone who is obese, and there's no reason @Gillette Venus should be encouraging life-threatening obesity. This would also be true if they used an anorexic model. I wish the model they used well, but Gillette should know better.
Okay, so I kind of see both sides of it from the standpoint. I totally understand this whole representation matters wave, but at the same time, I get how it can be annoying. Like I came across something one day, and this woman that had saggier breasts was like, "You never see anything with women with saggy breasts. We need to be represented as well." Nobody wants to see that. And then if you're trying to advertise something that involves boobs.
Yeah.
Most people don't like saggy boobs. Right. You know, and that doesn't mean that you can't use this bra or this product. Yeah. It's just this will sell. People are going to see those breasts and go, "Oh, look at that." You know? But so anyway, that kind of annoyed me. But I get it, right? So then with this whole thing, you shouldn't encourage anybody obese having her in there. I'd say the same thing about somebody anorexic. Well, at the same time, you have to understand people come in all shapes, sizes, colors. So there are people that feel that way, that like, nothing panders to my audience, which sometimes if you're that type of person, grow up. It doesn't have to directly call to you. It's a product. Use it.
And I think it's also different if you were like bringing attention to the problem. You know what I mean? Like if you're saying like, this, obesity is a problem, or anorexic, or anorexia is a problem. That's a completely different sort of campaign.
Right.
But kind of just acting like, oh, well, it's fine. You know what I mean? Like, they're people too. It's like, that doesn't make the problem go away. Like if you've ever seen an episode of My 600 Pound Life, every single person on that show literally is like, this was the worst mistake of my life. I should have stopped eating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're paying the consequences, and it's hard to say stuff nowadays because you're gonna have people who are gonna hate you for what you say.
There's trigger warnings everywhere. You can't say anything.
And and it's not that it's not fat shaming. It's just you need to be healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's totally understandable if you're just like, well, that's how I want to be fat. I want to die. Whatever. Then that's on you.
Right.
But I don't know. It's. I can't make one opinion for myself because you know what I mean. Like I don't want to put myself into one box for this.
Well, you know what?
It's hard.
Maybe you can't say anything because you're a very skinny male,
right?
But as a bigger guy, you can't be mad at me for saying fat people stop being so fat.
Yeah.
I feel like once you're in that 200-pound area and you're starting to lean closer to the 300, you should say, "Whoa, wait." Because it's just not healthy, Right. And I see the way people like feed their kids and stuff, and I'm like, oh God, like you're setting them up for failure. There's some really fat kids. You're like, their life is going to be so hard for many reasons.
Oh yeah,
it's health, it's mental because people are going to bully them, things like that. So I totally understand the side of it being unhealthy, but at the same time, I don't feel like anything that involves somebody being fat or somebody being underweight is a call to action for you to say, "Oh, this is outrageous."
Right.
Like it's not that deep. It's a Gillette campaign.
It's a razor.
It's about shaving. Like we're just showing somebody else in a bikini, so obviously she has shaved. We're a shaving company. Boom. It's that simple.
Right.
Nobody said #we love obesity. Like nobody's saying this is great. We're encouraging this. It's just showing somebody else that would potentially be using their product.
Right.
So it's not a call to action for you social justice Twitter warriors to bust out your fingers and do your stretches so you can just, type away in your fury about fatness. Like, it's not that serious.
And it's also a paycheck for the model, you know? Because maybe she was struggling to get a job, and now you got a big company putting you in an ad campaign and probably paying you a lot of money.
And people hate that too.
Oh,
How
yeah.
dare you reward plus size models for being fat? Like, okay, come on. Like
they have to get money too.
People have to make a living,
right? And maybe they're in the moment of their life where they are making a change.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Right.
They have to have money to make that change. They have to have money to go to the gym and eat healthy.
The summary here is people are dumb. Twitter is toxic. That's literally it. Like, Twitter used to be a different type of toxic where you could roast people and say, like, things that were borderline not okay and it'd be okay. But, like, now it's toxic from the point of no matter what you do and say, those social justice warriors are coming.
Yeah.
Oh, was that racist? Here we go. Was that sexist? Was that something sexist you said? We are down your throat.
Right.
Is that an unhealthy habit you're supporting? We have a problem.
Yeah.
So just stay away from Twitter.
Yeah.
It's toxic. Gillette, keep doing you. Make your money. Pay these models.
So, as always, we have a very crazy Florida story that it almost sounds like the headline almost sounds very familiar to a children's cartoon.
Okay.
But I will read it. So, it says, Florida man threatened to destroy town with army of turtles.
Are they teenagers and mutants?
That's
and ninjas?
literally like somebody was like, "Oh, Master Splinter's not messing around anymore."
Yeah. He found like an army
Right.
of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. In that case, sure,
Right.
I'd be scared.
All right, so here the story goes. A self-proclaimed, quote, saint was arrested in coastal Florida town Sunday after screaming obscenities and threatening to unleash an army of turtles, an arrest affidavit reportedly said. Authorities received multiple calls about a man who was disturbing the peace at several businesses in Indianlantic, a town about 75 miles southeast of Orlando, the affidavit said. The suspect, later identified as 61-year-old Thomas Devaney Lane, was calling himself the Saint and allegedly said his army of turtles would, quote, destroy everyone. Lane accompanied a responding officer back to the police headquarters where he pounded on the walls and glass before leaving the station. Officers later found him in the parking lot of a 7-Eleven where he allegedly cursed out customers and called 911. Lane allegedly told the 911 operator that the responding officer, quote, needed to leave now or will be sorry for you you will all be sorry you effed with the Saint. Police said Lane refused to exit his vehicle and was taken out by force. During that ordeal, he allegedly continued to shout obscenities while warning passersby about an impending army of turtles. He was arrested and charged with disturbing the peace, resisting arrest without violence, and misusing 911.
Okay. That's a lot.
Yeah, that was a long one, but
Yeah.
it just kept getting better and better with each sentence.
You know, in all seriousness, before I continue to laugh at this man and his misfortune,
Yes.
Florida is showing you we have a serious problem, whether it be drugs or mental health.
Yes.
There are serious issues, and they're not getting the proper attention or help, clearly, because they just keep getting stranger and stranger. Like, you have to be on drugs or just flat out, like, you've got some mental problems. Just running around to businesses. I will attack. My turtles will take over. Like,
Army of turtles.
and, where is anyone checking? He might literally just be taking turtles.
I like at a pet store.
Yeah,
And
like
the aquarium.
and, you know, he's in Florida, so he might just be finding them in the wild. Just plick. Like, he might have like a huge thing of turtles in his basement. What is he gonna strap like an explosive to different turtles and just let them loose or what? Yeah, like he might literally have some type of crazy plan.
Yeah.
You need to check this man out. Put him in a padded wall and a straitjacket.
And save those turtles.
Save those turtles.
So sad.
I am calling 911 right now. They need to go to his house, kick in the door, and search everything because there are turtles in that man's home. He's not just making this up. He's got to have at least like 3 turtles. Right. Something. There's no way it's somebody that just doesn't own a single turtle is like, my army of turtles. Like, you can't be that crazy.
There's 4 of them like lined up in a tank, and above it is Leonardo, Donatello,
army,
Michelangelo. Yeah.
He's probably got a really big rat too.
Wearing a robe.
He's going to let the 5 of them out. Go, attack.
Go, attack. That's what the other thing, like, does he really think turtles are like gonna Right. They're like, they walk like a mile an hour.
Yeah.
And maybe not even that. Maybe not even a mile an hour. Half a mile an hour.
That guy's got problems, man.
Yeah.
He's got problems.
61-year-old.
Yeah.
That's
is that
old
too
enough,
early for
that's old
dementia?
enough to
Yeah.
Is that about when Alzheimer's kicks in?
Man, I don't know. It's something.
Yeah.
Something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get to the bottom of it. Save the turtles.
Alrighty, so it is my turn to ask you a thought-provoking personal question.
Yes.
Like we always do. This one's actually pretty easy. It's just kind of, personal preference. Question is, how do you feel about sharing your passwords with your partner? So that would be like your phone or, anything that obviously
requires a password.
has a password.
Yeah. The only time my girlfriend can't have my password if it's to my pillow fort. Mm-hmm. I don't want you in there. It's my place of solitude.
No girls.
No girls. No, but seriously, I don't mind it at all. In my most recent relationship, Raven.
Mm-hmm.
Even right now, her fingerprint's still in my phone. So if we were to go hang out and she wanted to get in my phone, knock yourself out.
Mm-hmm.
She might have removed mine. I don't know. We got into an argument. Who knows? Yeah. So anyway, she's got my password to my phone and the actual PIN code, aside from the fingerprint, and vice versa.
Right.
Although she may not remember it, I've told her the password to literally almost every account I have. There's only 2 options.
Right.
And I've said what that password is. So if you genuinely wanted to get into something, the password.
Right. Yeah. And
with most of her passwords, is one of 2 options of what it probably is. So I know I could potentially log into a lot of her things if I wanted to. Which may be a security hazard. But yeah, no, I don't mind. I feel like that doesn't bother me. I don't have anything to hide. I'm not like super like when it comes to my stuff, like, no, back away. So it doesn't bother me at all.
I'm kind of the opposite because, even though I don't have like anything to hide, I still feel like, well, it's mine. It's my privacy. Like it's my stuff. Like, no. Not that, if somebody asked me, to look at it, that I would say no. But if it never comes up, then I don't really feel like,
just disclosing
exactly.
it.
Yeah. It's like it's not necessary,
That's fair.
Right. So if if the other person suspects me, of anything shady, then, I would.
Chances are you're guilty.
Right. Well,
okay. Yeah.
No. No, like I said, because I don't have anything to hide. So yeah,
right.
It's fine. But, I don't like when people don't trust you enough to, and they have to like constantly like, check, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not that, we've been in a relationship like that, but you've seen people, who act like that, it's like, well, I need to have it so that I can check it whenever I want. You know what I mean? To just to make sure you're doing the right thing. It's like, well, if you don't trust me enough, then why are we even together?
And I think that all depends on your mate and like what type of person they are.
Yeah.
Like, for example, me and Raven.
Right.
We're super like close friends before we ever dated.
Yeah.
And we're, between relationship and friendship, we're going on like 4 or 5 years. So, it's not like I need to have it. It was just kind of like, here's put your thumbprint in there. I don't care. Here's the, hey, what's your password for this?
Right.
Here it is. Like whatever. And it's usually stupid stuff like, what's your Netflix password?
Yeah.
Or what's the password to your, or like when she would come back up here to Lindenwood after she graduated, what's the password, so I can log into a computer. But I mean, like, I think that depends on the mate. Some people are really crazy and pushy about stuff like that. So in that case, I could totally see you being like, no, because like, why do you feel the need to have it so bad? But if it's just something that's like, yeah, whatever, like convenience or, oh, my phone's dead, here, take mine.
Right. Yeah.
Without me having to be like, hold on. There you go.
I saw a video that somebody took on an airplane where this guy was asleep, like in his seat, and his girlfriend was next to him. But she was like using his Apple Watch to like scroll through like messages and stuff. Like, why? Like, no. Why? Why do you have to do that?
I don't feel like. I feel like, which is funny. I was just talking to my friends in a group chat yesterday. I feel like if you don't trust your partner or spouse enough to feel like you need to do that, why are you with them?
Right. Yeah.
Like I've jokingly done the whole "I'm going through your phone" thing,
right?
But it's like little stupid stuff, or like DM requests, like, "Who is this dude that tried to DM you?"
Who is mom?
I'm blocking him. He can't talk to you. You'd be like, "That's a dude I went to 7th grade with." I don't care. You're blocked. He can't, like stupid stuff. But as far as like genuinely like looking through your phone, looking for something, I have nothing to worry about.
Right.
Like, I feel like you should know who you're with. So if you're confident that you're not doing anything and they're not doing anything, why do you need to look through stuff? Unless, of course, it's reflecting your own insecurities or you're the one doing shady stuff, so you're hoping that they're not doing that as well.
Yeah.
But I don't see any reason to do that. If I feel like I don't trust you enough to not monitor your things like your mom or dad, then I shouldn't even be with you.
Yeah. It's all called...
No, go ahead. Take your time. You know, guys, if you didn't know, Chris has an enlarged tongue, so sometimes he chokes on said tongue while speaking.
It all comes down to it all comes down to trust, you know, and being able to feel like you can trust the other person.
Right.
So, I mean, I just thought it was an interesting question. I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm going to flip the dynamic on you. How do you feel about like your parents having access to stuff?
It depends. Again, with the trust. If they feel like that they can't trust me, then yeah. But if, you know, if I'm doing all the right things and, you know, all this stuff, then, you know, like I said, if I was confronted with it, then yeah, I would. But you can't blame me for feeling a little defensive, you know, being like, you know, well, why? You know, or asking why.
Naturally, you're going to be like, why?
But
I only say that so my mom has the password to my email.
Right.
Mind you, there's literally nothing on my email. I don't care. But it bothers me because, like, right now I'm still doing the job search. And so, like, we'll be at the house and she'll be like, did you respond to Cole's yet? I'm like, what? Get out of my email. Like, it just bothers me. There's nothing in there, but it bothers me that you, like, are reading my emails like, oh, Coca-Cola said they're hiring. Are you going to put in an application? Like, Mom, stop putting my email on things on Indeed trying to help me out and then reading through them and saying, did you reply back to them? They want to do a phone interview with you. Stop it. And it's my fault because I logged in on her laptop one day and never logged out. And with Google, 2 accounts can be logged in. You can just switch back and forth.
Yeah.
So she'll just switch over, be like, oh. I'm like, no, I'm literally going to log out.
Yeah.
So you cannot do this. This drives me insane.
Yeah.
But, like, all things considered, it doesn't really bother me, her having it.
Yeah.
It's like if I had, you know, access to your mail, like your physical mail, and I'm like, hey, did you get your credit card bill today? And you're like, why do you know that I have a credit card bill? Yeah, you better pay that $97. Like, get out of my stuff, you know? Yeah. But no, having passwords doesn't really bother me.
Yeah. All right.
I'm trusting and pretty trustworthy with most people, so I don't care.
Well, kind of a slow week, but I mean, we were able to find some stuff.
We made the most.
Yeah.
We made a mountain out of a molehill. Right. That's all we do is provide quality content and comedy.
Oh yeah.
And if you didn't laugh or enjoy the show, then you can leave. We don't want you here. Please don't go.
Just kidding, we do. Yeah.
We need as many clicks as possible. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend, please. Really, like, fucking hate Twitter. Like, it's the worst.